We all know the saying, there's no love like a mother's love. In commemoration of Mother's Day, which was celebrated on Sunday, we focus on the important role that mothers play in our lives. We hear from Mrs. Sharon Clarke-Rowley in this report compiled by Danielle John.
The significant role that mothers play in their children's lives cannot be understated. To commemorate all that they do, one day can never truly suffice. Nevertheless, the second Sunday in the month of May is observed as Mother's Day, a day that is tremendously special. So says the wife of the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago and attorney at law, Sharon Clarke-Rowley. For all that they are and for everything that they do, Mrs. Rowley describes mothers as the glue that holds the family together.
And when we look at the role of the mother, we think that this is someone who can do everything and anything. We as mothers are a parent who raises a child physically, spiritually, emotionally, and we see about their education. But as a mother, we go beyond that.
The work of a mother never ends. After their 9-to-5 jobs, they clock into another shift, one where they are cooks, cleaners, teachers, nurses, and confidants for their children. However, according to Mrs. Rowley, it's not only the women who birthed the children who execute these duties.
But you also have those mothers who are not the mothers of a specific child, but they are persons who perform the role of the mother.
Balancing life as a mother is a struggle that is not talked about enough. As a woman who wears many hats, Mrs. Rowley knows all about this all too well. She describes becoming a mother while actively practicing law and performing wifely duties as a juggling act. But through it all, she always strived to give her best.
Never do better than your best. So once you try and you put your all into it, then you are able to do it. But it entails time management, and that you must be able to do as a mother. Carry on a career and looking after active children, dropping them to school too, picking them up from school, taking them to extracurricular activities. And then with a husband in politics, I found myself, doing these things because, of course, he was serving the country. Yeah.
And now that she has become a grandmother, her motherly role has expanded.
I am just one of those persons who I would attach myself. So I'm there as the grandmother and I have to reel myself back in and realize that, okay, this is not your child. But I'm still very much involved in what they do, what they, school and so on. So I have just in the past few weeks been picking up my younger grandson from school in an afternoon.
Mrs. Rowley's strength and resilience was destined, being raised by a woman who possessed similar qualities. She recalls moments from her childhood with her mum, a woman who was very influential in her life.
And I have seen my mother, who was now deceased, calm, the perfect mother. Mommy grew up in Toko. But she had everything that you needed in a mother. And if I have to come back, she worked, she was a public servant, and she would actually come home to do lunch so that we could go back to school.
But while women strive to be supermom, Mrs. Rowley is also reminding them of the importance of taking time for themselves.
You need to give time to yourself. You need to understand that while, yes, you have a family, you have a husband, you have a career, but you have you. And if you don't pay attention to yourself, there may be a time when you can't help the others. So you may as well take a little time off for yourself. If it means however you choose to do it, whether it means doing my nails, so now that they're all grown, I can do my nails and put on false nails and that kind of thing. But you do these things and spend a little more time with yourself.
And as we celebrated Mother's Day on Sunday, Mrs. Rowley took a moment to say,
Happy Mother's Day to all the women in Trinidad and Tobago.
This is We Focus for TTT News.